Good day, everyone. How's everyone doing? This is another market outlook video. Um, and today I'm only, well, probably not only, but I'm covering the Euro USD, and we're also going to slightly look at GBP USD. All right. So you guys know from the previous market analysis and outlook that I was telling you guys that the correct time frame to be on is the weekly time frame. It's a lot of confusion if you look at the daily time frame. So, just a quick recap. We have had this as the yearly high. It came into inside of these two lines here, which is the monthly fair value gap. This red line up top is the yearly fair value gap. Look how close it got to it. Then it had to roll right back over. I've seen this time and time again, whereas it uses this point as somewhere of high probability to come back to for a longer term move. So what do we need to get there? Well, we need to find a lot more liquidity if we're looking at it from a higher time frame perspective. So this actually is a sweep of this high, and then we got in the coming weeks on the weekly time frame a break of structure from this low, right? So we had that break of structure close below. And then when you put your fib from the high, for me, the high would be right here. I use the bodies to the low. That's where you're up. We're up in premium pricing right here. Now, what are these lines that I have marked up? This is a weekly high. This is another weekly high. This is another weekly high. So what was it doing in these few weeks right here? It was making lower highs. So if we come back up and we're up in premium pricing to generate another move lower, we would have to look for what we would call a sweep of one of these highs. It's another sweep of liquidity, just like we had over here before then heading down. So we had a sweep of liquidity right here. This was last week. And then we rolled over. Had an entry. I'm currently in a trade right now for Euro USD. We go down to the daily now. So yeah, I just want to bring this over because I want to show you that I'm in a trade right now. Um, and I wasn't concerned about it coming up to this high. If it came up to this high, you just get liquidated out, and I would have re-entered somewhere up in here for another short down. But we don't risk all our money on trades. Anyway, disclaimer: this is still not financial advice. So here on the daily chart, we can see, um, yeah, we had a break of structure on the daily as well. The problem with that is, if you just look at it from a daily chart, oh, we had the break of structure from the daily, and then you get this retracement. It's a false move to make you believe, oh, like we headed down lower. But really and truly, you should have been watching it off of the weekly time frame because this is not premium pricing to head down into the 6 month fair value gap. See, our target is a 6 month fair value gap to then see if we could generate a little more liquidity and market structure to then head up higher into this yearly fair value gap. This is the overall target for the next 2 years for me. Like say something into next year or this year, who knows how fast it can happen. So here on the daily time frame, you know, swap liquidity, nice rejection. came down and we moved up into a, because I'll scroll down to it, a 4 hour fair value gap. Moved down into a 4 hour fair value gap, retraced into it after we opened up with a gap, and now we're moving down higher. And I'm going to show you my A plus setup when it forms. Has a lot to do with SMT divergence. But let's head down to the 4 hour because that's what I'm waiting on to materialize in this kind of market. So here we go, 4 hour time frame because I feel as though it's much more clear here. We had this in the last week on Friday. We closed right here. We scroll in a little more. So yeah, we had the sweep of liquidity on Friday. Was not phased by this at all. Came down lower. Actually, I entered a position after it swept an extra position. So yeah, and then we came down and we opened here on Monday. We traded up. Now this is a 4 hour fair value gap. It could have entered a next position here, but that wasn't necessary at all. You know, we came down. We didn't break structure, so it wouldn't like be indicative to say, oh, you know, look for another entry. The only thing I was eyeing up and keeping an eye on yesterday was this 45-minute imbalance and also this little 4 hour fair value gap right here. And then, we just started trickling lower. Now, what am I looking for the euro, on the upcoming future? If we look here, we have this low. We have this low. Once we break and close below this low on a daily basis, mainly on a 4 hour basis, but mainly a daily basis, then we can look for a move back up, a retracement to then generate some more liquidity in here, probably find a daily fair value gap or a 4 hour fair value gap. I'm looking for SMT divergence within this weekly fair value gap. After, it can break, this low. So that's what I'm looking for on the euro. So how are we gonna find this SMT divergence? Well, when I go to GBP USD, as of right now, I exited my position for GBP USD because I think this is more high probable to go up and take out this liquidity high right up here because the euro is moving down, but GBP is staying stuck and consolidated. So now, if we take out this high right here, right, and let me go back to Euro USD, but Euro USD doesn't take out this high, and that can happen like with a little move up. That would make the SMT divergence that I'm looking for because if GBP USD takes out this high, then Euro USD should have taken out this high. And then so after we see that, whatever the low is, we want to see it. We want to see Euro USD come, break and close below the low, and then do a final retracement into a fair value gap that is made either on a daily or a 4 hour. Um, Highly probably is going to be more so the daily. It's gonna come back into a fair value gap after the SMT divergence and break of structure, and then it's gonna move lower into the 6 month fair value gap, and then from my target has been hit down here. Now I'm just gonna look for the market to do what it does on a regular and see if we can get like a change of character or something to then head up into this yearly fair value gap. So yeah, I don't, I scalp the two, but I'm just saying that I look at everything from a higher time frame so I could read the whole narrative because people might have been panicking up in here, oh, we had to move higher and looking at it from a day to day basis, like, oh, so we're going up. But we've already accomplished what we needed to accomplish up here. So there's no need to go up. You know what I mean? So yeah, we had a retracement back up. We came down and we're just trickling down to break these lows, and and excuse me, just trickling down to break these lows, and then that's the end of that. So you guys, this is my analysis for your USD on the longer term. Um, Subscribe to me if you want to follow for more. I might go live um, trading this, going up and coming down, But I'm just swing trading this. I really don't have any worries. And then we're not over leveraged. So, like, subscribe so this video can get out there to more people who, trade smart money concepts. But what I do want to do before I leave very quickly is show you where um the same thing had worked before. So I'm just gonna go to a bar replay right quick. So bar replay mode, continue. Ah, well, it's doing some other stuff right now, and it took me to the 1 hour chart, but that's okay. Anyway, I'll explain it to you guys, but it's really and truly, man, hold on, go to the daily time frame. I'm trying to do a bar replay here for you guys. I guess it only took me here. Okay, cool. So I know my chart looks muddy, but trust me, it makes sense. So last year we had this run up, this move up from here, and we just kept moving higher and higher and higher. When we got up to here, however, it was the month of May, and it was a seasonal tendency that May moves down a little. You see what I'm saying? This right here is a monthly fair value gap. So how do we look for SMT divergence? We look for SMT divergence. We look for SMT divergence within higher time frame fair value gaps. So if I cut on my tool here, you can see, all right, we had this SMT divergence. That just means that GBP USD made a higher high and Euro USD made a lower high. Then what we wait on after the initial SMT divergence, my bad, I may need to clean up this chart a little bit. So yeah, after we made this SMT divergence within the the monthly fair value gap, what happened here? Price broke structure, right? Broke and closed below, and then we had a retracement back up into this new fair value gap that it made for us to have a lower push down into a weekly fair value gap that then send the market higher. So we're gonna see that again because we're now, approaching the month of May. But it's all in due time. But I'm just gonna leave you with that. So, like, share, comment, and subscribe.